change. So I figure why not do it on a microphone, on stage in front of a room full of people I don't know. Yeah, I'm married. My husband and I are going through a rough patch. I mean, it's not completely over. Just the other day, he told me, I want to be with you when I'm 60. Just not until then. Like, being with me is like a gym membership. You can just freeze when you're young and hot, and then come back to when you have no muscles and bone calcifications. I mean, you can't just do that. It's like going to an amusement park with someone, and you wait in line, and then right when you cross the gate, he says, hey, let's meet back here in 20 years. And so you meet back, and you sit in the parking lot, and you go through each other's photos of all the roller coasters you went on with strangers. But I want to get divorced. I mean... just because being a divorcee just sounds so glamorous. I mean, if I were a divorcee, I would wear just long gowns every day and big sunglasses, and I would have a fragrance line. Irreconcilable by Dolce and Gabbana. When he left me, he did it like at night, like when we were getting ready for bed, and he just said, I don't love you anymore. And that we were together for 10 years for like someone to say I don't love you anymore, and I'm a pretty slow learner. So I was like, well, wait, what about when we were in Maine and we had lobster and you looked like you wanted to kiss me all the time? And he was like, I have an allergy to shellfish. And I said, well, what about when you just wanted to lay in bed all day and do nothing? And he said, I was depressed. And I said, but what about our wedding? I mean, you cried at our wedding. And he said, I cried at our wedding. But still, I didn't get it. I said, prove it. Prove it to me that you don't love me anymore. So he left me for somebody else. I've ever gone through. I haven't gone through anything sadder. Like, I've never experienced anything sadder than this. It's almost like he died. I mean, he didn't. I wish he did. Not like in a death kind of way, but just like, I want him to be in a happier place, you know? I mean, it would just be cleaner. Like, if he died, then, like, if someone said, so how are things with you and your husband? I could just say, he died. How are you? I mean, I loved my husband so much. From the moment I met him, I just knew he was the one I wanted to see die. I should probably be in therapy. The crazy thing about therapy is that you can never afford it when you need it the most. So I've had to rely on my friends that go to therapy for some pointers. And they're like, Jennifer, you've been in a relationship for so long. This is the first time you've ever been single. Like, just really focus on what's great about being single. And so I did. And, like, being single's great. Like, when you're single, you don't have to worry about merging in and out of the carpool lane, because that can be pretty tricky. When you're single, paperwork is easy. Emergency contact? Nope. When you're single, you never lose yourself, because you just look to the side and you can see your arm. And you know you're there. I've cried a lot. And you know, I've learned that there's some really great places to cry. Like the back of the line at the ATM is a great place to cry because people just think that you're crying about your bank account. At the airport is a great place to cry because people think you just said goodbye to a long-lost relative. But the best place to cry, in my opinion, is the CVS. Because, I mean, well, first of all, the music at CVS, it just gets you in the mood for a good cry. No matter what time of day, right when you walk through the door, Chicago is always playing. If you leave me now, time can walk I mean, you are on the same page as everyone at CVS. Because no one goes to CVS on a good day. You go to CVS when you need to buy a salve for rashes, or a can of tuna, or stool softener. And CVS knows exactly its demographic. It's like a labyrinth of sadness. It's like one of those mazes you walk on, like at a yoga retreat when you want to get to know your true self. So like the outside ring of CVS, they have a photo developing booth, which is cute because it's for those people that still have rolls of film and they need to develop it because they're looking for evidence in a case that went cold in the 90s. Then you go to the pharmaceutical counter with the surveillance camera that makes everyone look like they're buying something illegal. Then the next corner is the contagious illness section. The back is where you get the first aid kits and the rash creams and anti-diarrhea medication, which I think is just cruel. I think if you are bleeding, itching, or clenching, you should just be able to grab and go. What do I know? So then you go around the corner, then it's the toiletries and lotions. Then the other side is the makeup counter, the makeup area, which is brightly lit. However, there are no mirrors because you don't want to see yourself when you're buying makeup at CVS. You aren't buying makeup for the girl you want to be. You're buying makeup for the girl you currently are in CVS. The middle part of CVS is the purgatory. It's like the alcohol, the junk food, the feminine hygiene products, the condom display, which ironically is locked up because if you go to CVS and you're getting lucky, you need permission from a teenager. Then there's the baby aisle, which they only carry enough to remind you that you're never having one. The mecca of CVS is the middle aisle, where they have the As Seen on TV and the off-brand holiday displays, which remind you to have some hope and an impulse buy and last chance for happiness kind of way. You grab your products, you go to the self-checkout counter or the self-checkout because you don't want to make eye contact with anybody except the security guard. He knows what's up. He shows you where to stick your credit card, and then on your way out, you see a perfume display with a tester for Rebound. And you realize, hey, today's getting a little bit better.